Okay, fella. Southwest Sofa back in the house.
Back in the house.
Where's that low rider?
There's no low rider this time.
Okay.
I don't know this one at all. It's crazy.
So you're just in your sneakers walking down the street. No
sneakers.
guns. No
I'm in a
sneakers.
suit. That's how I can be less street if I tried.
Radio. Okay. Well, I have to say the name rings a bell. The Last Unicorn, but you've got your trailer screen up here, or whatever, and I have no memory of this. As Gandalf would say, I have no memory of this film at all.
I'm not trying to convince Gandalf I've ever said that, but
Well, he said I have no memory of this place in Moria. And he's lost.
Not film.
No, he didn't say film. To paraphrase Gandalf, he was confronted by this film and was me. Yeah, you're right.
Yes, I'm looking forward to this. This is, I think so, 1982.
Right.
Um,
And what's the Rankin Bastards? And judging by the animation, the little trailer we can see, that does look like the Hobbit cartoon.
Yep.
You know the Hobbit cartoon,
I
right?
do, yeah.
Okay. So that's pretty cool. Well,
Yeah.
you know what? We could almost be like short this week if we
straight into it, yeah,
go straight
for real.
into it. Unless we want to introduce a new segment to derail ourselves. Maybe tell us about like an 80s anecdote or something
Maybe,
back in the day. Should we cut our losses today and go straight
I
in?
think we probably should. Yeah,
There you go.
definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
For once, we're going to be short on the intros.
Short and sweet.
We're looking forward to it. We'll see how we go. Okay, closing out. Okay, fella. So that was
The Last Unicorn.
The Last Unicorn. You seen it before?
No, never.
I don't think I've seen it before. Again, I thought I heard the title, but when Spencer put it up, I even thought it was like a film, not a animation. So, what do you think? I mean, I thought the animation was fun. It was good.
The animation was. So there's some. I think the unicorn was done quite well, just for the stance that it had and the kind of flowing hair and stuff. I think we were kind of saying almost kind of anime-esque for
the girl. Yeah, the girl was very anime-esque, and I don't know when anime became a thing, but the girl certainly had very strong.
And obviously, I mean, they should anyway, but very, very different to the human characters.
Yep. The other human, because I was going to say the other human characters were, I thought the style was quite interesting because they were all very much like the captain in the forest and the old lady and the goon guy caught the wizard. They all had a lot of character to them, but they were all kind of manifestly a bit ugly, I thought. So maybe that was by purpose. They would like the idea is that she her natural beauty as a fair maid
over everything, as it were,
would kind of stand out by contrast.
Yeah, almost. I can think almost because I think we put quite a few things kind of like similar to Dark Crystal and stuff. But almost the difference between the podlings and the gelflings.
Mm-hmm.
The gelflings were quite ethereal, and the podlings were just very kind of earthy and
maybe that was a design choice. I mean, like the wizard reminded me of Barry Manilow. I said a young Barry Manilow, and I don't know. I thought like the harpy was an interesting choice with its three
udders.
There was. I guess we had some milk caps. As Spencer would say, is he going to count those? Is Jason going to count them?
Well, I guess that's the niche ones.
Yeah, very niche. Speaking of which, the tree thing was kind of surreal, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was again relatively niche and thing, but
you're caught in a niche, that one. Bloody hell! I think some people would pay good money for that treatment.
I think they would. Interesting that she came across as being kind of evil compared to the unicorn.
Yeah, it's almost like an evil tree wife or whatever they would call in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
I think they're called Entwives. That's what they're called in.
Anyways,
in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
and there was some of the backgrounds were a bit Lord of the Ring-esque.
Yeah,
and I thought the evil castle was a little bit like Dark Crystal-esque. But anyway, those are.
I mean, is it just because all of those things were kind of around the same time? Maybe I don't know, but
was Dark Crystal? When was Dark Crystal? That was 80.
Can't remember.
That was early 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I almost thought it was 82, just from shoot him from the hip.
Yeah.
Anyway, so definitely don't remember seeing it at all.
No.
So
like, I don't. And for me, kind of not even. It's like my dad was quite keen on us watching cartoons and other bits and pieces when stuff came out.
Yeah.
He was keen on like us watching Lord of the Rings and
Yep.
and other bits.
But 82, do you think this just bypassed us? Because
I mean, 82 is when it came out.
yeah.
So then it would have been,
It'd been around
83, 84.
by the time it came out on
by the
TV.
time it came out on TV.
True.
So, and I guess from my perspective, we were probably, we were maybe just back from Germany.
Yeah.
So like they got stuff even later over there than on
Sure.
TV and stuff there. But,
I just wonder if it might have just fallen between some stools. I mean, I got a kind of. I know you said it was a book, but I wonder if it's got just a kidsy vibe with your dad. Maybe just be not that interested to push. Not that he was pushing on you, but.
Well, Dad was well into Lord of the Rings as well, though. So like,
Yeah.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm not sure, but
Excuse me.
interesting. Lots of kind of like I think some of the bits of when she was changed into a human form.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I can feel this body dying.
Yeah, that was
Hang
neat.
on, you're like a young little strumpet. What's going on there? What are you trying to say? Like, it's,
But I think compared to an immortal unicorn,
Yeah.
I can feel my soul's dying, and maybe it feels like you just imagine like if we'd suddenly be teleported into a decaying corpse, you'd be
Yeah.
like, "This is horrible. Take me
Yeah.
out of here." But there were some nice things. I quite like the idea of the witch with how she cast her magic, and I think there was a few other little concepts which I can't remember now, which I thought were
quite enjoyed it.
quite gameable. But the idea of like a unicorn not being able to be seen outside its forest,
Yeah, that was interesting.
It's kind of
And
a
kind
fun
of people
idea.
not necessarily believing, therefore not seeing,
Yeah.
and seeing what they wanted to see as opposed to what was it. And obviously she cast the evil witch cast the
fake
cast
horn
the
on it.
glamours on the fake horn so they could see it, but also for the manticore
Fake
and
lion, yeah.
the
lion.
giant ape and the serpent and other bits. So yeah.
And the kind of crazy fight with the idea of freeing the harpy, and yet it's still like, I'm still going to kill you because... And that was kind of a bit
I'm evil.
dark.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I liked. It was like an eternal being cannot... Or running from an eternal being will only draw its attention.
Yeah.
That was kind of an interesting idea.
Immortal.
Immortal, was it?
Yeah.
The idea that if you carefully walk away, it wouldn't go for you.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess...
almost beneath its notice, and
Yeah.
again,
It's kind of a fun, gameable idea, that idea, but...
And I think because we were saying about how it may well be that because she is immortal, that actually, a day just feels like a couple of minutes to her rather than so it's not been that long, but actually it's been really, really long. So leaving her forest, how long did she leave the forest before she even met any of the other people? That there's
True. And I remember thinking, like, I didn't really like or groove on the sort of trippy butterfly, I will say, but I kept thinking, well, why are you asking how long the unicorns have been? When's the last time you saw one, mate? But maybe it's this time dilation factor you're talking about. Like, for her, it's been like, feels like maybe a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But the rest of the world has been like
centuries,
2,000 years. Well, actually, it couldn't be that long because that old coot was living in his castle, although he was almost lich-like, so maybe he'd been...
He did
and
seem
he was
that way,
bored
didn't
of
he?
everything, and everything made him miserable, apart from the pure unicorn. So maybe he was kind of like, almost like a lich, he was like,
certainly a fun sponge.
yeah, he was
I'm not sure if that's
true.
in the monster manual.
Yeah, like, it should be though. It should be. There should be a fun sponge. Could be your new nickname.
Yeah. My new nickname?
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
And I'd like, but actually, just while well, yeah, sorry, buddy. You fun sponge. But I'm gonna head you off at a pass as well. There was no damn Clydesdale unicorns.
Unbelievable. Why wouldn't they have Clydesdale
I don't
unicorns?
know. I guess elegant.
Was there Clydesdales? Were they riding Clydesdales? Maybe some of them. I'm not sure. Were they pulling
No.
carts?
What?
Maybe?
The unicorns?
No.
Right at the beginning when they were
the humans and the carts
cages.
and other bits and pieces.
I don't know. I wasn't paying. To be fair, I wouldn't pay much attention. Like the witch's hat.
Witch's hat was amazing.
I quite like that.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why the kind of older lady that the magician seemed to end up with had such crazy hair. I but that's a different matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so got any more observations, or should we go to numbers? I feel like we could almost be quick this time round. I don't know.
Not really. I mean, I guess an interesting concept to do it from a purely kind of almost unicorny type of perspective. And the kind of the singing, kind of linking scenes, kind of felt very War of the Worlds to me.
Oh yeah,
just with the.
I didn't really groove too much on the singing links, I have to say. I guess, but you know, I'm not. I don't remember that bit from War of the Worlds, but actually, I'm not sure I've seen or watched
audio
it.
Version, not the thing.
But you know, that resonated with you. Good for you.
Well, it just reminded me.
A lot of Japanese names in this, by the way,
isn't there?
I wonder if that's where this anime style came from. Just looking at the credits.
Is it something? Is a different concept? Is it something that I would go for? Probably not.
And are you familiar with, like, I don't remember any folklore references to a Red Bull and unicorn. Is that a thing? Am I missing something?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean,
I don't know. I've never heard it.
Basketball team or something, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know. Two horns on a bull, white unicorn, red bull. I don't know. Is there some moon sun thing going on? But anyway,
don't know. But
it's obviously a book, right? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a book with it as well. As I say, I think. As you say, the animation, I quite enjoyed the animation.
Yeah, it's a nice new cartoony thing, fancy that I've not seen. So that's for me interesting. All right, you want to go for some numbers?
Yeah, I think it's your turn first.
I think you might be right. Okay, and what are we giving it? Horns?
are we
Harpy boobs? No, I think we better. Well, we got to give it.
It's got to be
either unicorns or horns.
Yeah.
Butterflies? Don't think so. Right, horns.
No,
unicorn.
Not butterflies, man.
Unicorn horns then. No. Okay. I found it a bit slow. And I was thinking, did much happen in this film? But then when we thought about it, it was like she met the butterfly, then there was the cage got caught, and then there was the fight, and then there was the woods, and then. But I don't know. I found it a bit slow.
I think the only thing they would say, just to interpose, is they did actually play it quite well as quite a naive character.
Yeah.
Like this like immortal being, but actually very naive to the way of the world, and kind of just sleeping by the side of a road, and just bits and pieces like that. I thought were very.
But she was very safe in a forest, so she could never face threats before.
So just like quite naive. So.
But. Yeah, found it a bit slow, and I didn't really find myself massively engaged. I think it's interesting, these old cartoons feel very 2D, and given I have zero nostalgia for it, I think that hasn't helped gloss over any of the kind of, if you like, things. And, would I watch it again soon? I'd watch it again, but it would definitely have to be... I'd probably... I'd almost watch it again fairly soon, just to revisit some of the ideas, but I think, I'd happily leave it another year without worrying about seeing it again. Felt a bit kidsy. I mean, it probably is a kids' film, right?
Yeah. I think you can always tell. I think sometimes if we kind of talked quite a lot through this.
Yeah,
and we were talking about things that would work in D&D, which isn't necessarily a bad thing of itself, because it brings along that conversation.
Sure.
But from a kind of, if you go for like the pure film experience, then maybe not quite as strong as.
Yeah. What did we watch last? I can't remember right now.
Last was Neverending Story.
Neverending Story. Yeah. I mean, in a way, I was more engaged with Neverending Story, even though.
But is that the nostalgia? That's the only thing that I think with that is that the thing of, oh, this is coming up next, whereas this
maybe. But I felt I think there was less dead space between scenes. I think some of this stuff was like, did we really need the bit in the forest with the captives, like where the wizard did the Robin Hood spell?
Yeah, I guess that was when they then met the lady, wasn't it?
But she could have been picked up at the caravan thing or something. Anyway, I don't know. I thought, okay, I'm going to cut to it. So, unicorn horns, I'm going to give it 4 whole unicorn horns and a snapped unicorn horn. Can that be a thing?
It is a thing, yeah. It can be.
Or like a mini rhino horn. So I'm going to give it 4.4, I think.
4.4.
Mainly because I enjoyed the animation and some of the concepts, like this idea of, unicorns, can't leave when they leave their forest, people can't recognize them, and what was the other thing that I quite liked? The
immortal.
Immortal,
walk away from immortals, don't ever run.
Just walk away, yeah. I just kind of like a few of those
Very
little
deliberate
bits.
as well. I quite like that.
And I like the evil guy in a way. He reminded me of Monty Burns from The Simpsons, but I did like him. I like this idea that he's like some creepy old guy capturing unicorns because nothing makes me happy.
Yeah.
I like to take the best thing in the world and drive it into the sea.
Yeah. Well, that was like you said, it wasn't really his son, the prince.
Yeah.
They found him, he amused him for a while, and then he just
I was a
got
bit bored of him,
and
yeah.
So yeah.
All right.
But then his end was quite anticlimactic as well, considering he was ultimately the guy that had, captured all of her mates and stuff. It would have been nice to see quite a dramatic end.
Maybe killed by the bull himself or something, trampled down.
Yeah, for real.
But
Or trampled by the whole horde of
unicorns. Yeah. You think I'm so pure now, buddy?
Off with blood all over
Yeah.
them.
You think I'm so pure now, buddy? It kills me to see such impurity on your horns. That would have been ironic. The unicorns doing like Ouija boards in the ocean or something. A dirty protest in the sea or something. Take that! We're not so pure as you think, buddy. Right. Well, you better throw down your numbers, dude.
So I think in a similar vein, is it something that I dash back to kind of watching? Probably not that quickly. I might try to throw it in front of the kids. Will they keep with it though?
Probably 2D, I reckon.
Yeah.
Also, I think it might have to be youngish.
Yeah.
I mean, what's interesting is like Never Ending Story. I bought the book because I thought it might be interesting to read.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not going to buy the book for this.
No, that's fair.
If this is the purity of the Lost Unicorn is not gripping me strongly.
Yeah.
So anyway,
so I think I'll go for unicorn horns.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's going to have to be a few strands of unicorn horn, so maybe put in a wand. Because people do that type of thing.
Yeah,
I'm going 4.3.
Okay,
it's
fair.
a fairly low
fair.
score, but I did enjoy some stuff. There's some stuff that I enjoyed, so it's not to detract away from.
Yeah.
But it's maybe just not a film necessarily for me.
Yeah.
But I think, as we've said though, is that because I don't have any nostalgia for it?
Also, grit. I mean, I guess there was a bit of grit when the old lady got eaten by the harpy,
yeah.
and when the guy was swinging his sword around, there was a bit of grit there. Yeah. But I kind of like high stakes. The universe is at stake, and there's I wouldn't say I like a lot of fighting, but I think I need some. Right? There's got to be a little bit of grit and a bit of this. This felt a bit twee.
I think on the small bits that you've got with the unicorn action, kind of actually fighting the Red Bull.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't like it just kind of waved its horn.
Yeah, it was like back off, buddy, and he went into the sea.
That was it. That was enough.
And it did make me think.
Why didn't they just do that before?
Yeah, it did make me why the other 400 unicorns or whatever didn't just all like say, "Let's get together, buddy," and let's.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
I mean, is it because he was partly human and had learned how to stand up for itself rather than being?
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe that's a part of the thing. But
it had regret, and therefore, I did like this idea that unicorns had sorrow but not regret.
Yeah,
that was kind of an interesting idea. But maybe this partly human unicorn had something to fight for, whereas the other ones were like, "I don't regret being in the sea. I'm a bit sorrow, but I don't know." Maybe something in the book that we missed. The transformation made that one more powerful. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. I think we're pretty much on the same page. I was trying not to be too harsh on it because I did like some aspects, but
that's the thing, and I don't want the score to reflect that. But
well,
I mean,
it is what it is.
It does.
Yeah.
But it's still, it's an interesting one to kind of watch a film that I've never seen before.
Definitely of
and
this
knew
era.
Nothing about as well. So it was,
So
I was really paranoid that. Hopefully we've got the right one.
Well, we're still not sure we got the right one, but we think we probably got the right one.
But I think this is the only one that I could find of it anyway.
And at least it was in English and not Spanish.
Yeah, there was that. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. I was telling you about this this like evil unicorn I wrote up like I don't know, it must be 10 years ago, and I was thinking I had this, I called it a Yelficorn. I think like evil Yel, But I remember thinking. It was sort of like anyway, I thought it was like terribly creative, and then I googled and found like loads of people made evil unicorns, so that was a bit of an anticlimax, but yeah, if you're interested in my Yelficorn, somewhere on my blog. Yeah, and I can't quite remember a lot about it. I think it was meant to be like a cross between a unicorn and a nightmare or something. I can't remember really.
Yeah.
Some sort of parasitic relationship. Anyway, not to worry.
I think I've remembered because we're talking about unicorns, evil unicorns with like really bad teeth and other bits. Like gnashing thing. I think it's called Is it Enchanted or something? It's like a Simpsons-esque kind of takeoff. Thing. It's on Netflix.
Oh yeah, Enchanted,
and I think there's
an evil unicorn in that.
There's evil unicorns in that. I think it's that one. So,
yeah, it could be right.
That's really worth watching if everyone hasn't watched that.
I've seen a bit.
Really good. I
watched a bit of it,
and then I just got really into it and then just binge watched it. So
yeah, I should. I think I tried. For some reason, I tried to watch that with the kids, and then they didn't stop watching it, so I stopped watching it. Anyway, yeah. But okay. Yeah. Okay. Then. So I see you fetched out the Clydesdale calendar.
Clydesdale calendar.
What's our facts, mate?
So it's a big beefy chief.
He's a good one. Yeah, look at that. Look at the haunches on that chap.
Yeah. So the average weight of a Clydesdale horse is 1,700 to 2,200 pounds.
What's that in metric, mate?
Oh, no idea.
So how many pounds then is the top level?
2,200.
2,200. That's I think it's 2.2 pounds to a kilogram, so it's 1,000 kilograms. That's a metric ton. That sounds almost light.
Ooh.
What's the name of the
almost light?
For Clydesdale.
To be fair, it's like probably about 20 of me if it's 1,000 kilos.
Yeah, I don't know. But what's the you were a powerweight lifting champion and deep sea diver.
Yeah,
but what was the oh shit, I've forgotten. Oh, what was the name of the biggest Clydesdale ever? You must know this fact. We call old Tom or something. I can't remember.
Horatio.
All right, we'll have to find that one out.
That might be the next one.
Could be.
We never know. We'll find out.
Radio. Okay. I'll put a picture of the of this chap on the Discord.
Almost like it kind of almost looks like, I don't know if people are aware, Thread the Barbarian.
Oh yeah, he does have a Thread the Barbarian.
Just like really muscular body.
He does have a pretty tiny head. I can't believe you're mocking a Clydesdale.
Using men.
Man, we've blown it. Look, we've blown it. We had such a chance to be short.
We did.
Okay, all right. Let's hold it there. All right. Okay, fella. Anything else to
No,
animal cruelty?
Thank you.
Not really. It's
really.
animation. You can't be cruel in animation. Right. Okay. Let's put it in the can. Looking forward to next week. I think it might be Willow. Don't want to tip the curtain, but apparently in homage to Val Kilmer, who I didn't realise was in Willow because I have such a bad memory. Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cheers, fellas.
Thanks, everyone.
Looking forward to your comments. Bye.
Cheers.
Hi, Spencer. Goblin Henchman here. Just finished listening to the episode about the last unicorn. Just me this time. No UmberBulk. So yeah, just pick up a couple of things. There's one main thing I would like to talk about, but just a couple of things that you talked about. First, yeah, I agree. I don't really remember seeing much Rankin Bass in the UK. In fact, I was quite surprised that there was some of these films I've only come across by searching the internet. I remember watching The Hobbit, the cartoon. I remember seeing that bizarrely in Ghana, and I think someone had that on a VHS tape, and they were American. So that's, I think, and I remember thinking quite often as a teenager, why do I not, haven't seen this film since, but I knew it existed. Anyway, also the as you said, the sort of harpy creature looking like a Skeksis. I think I said that to the UmberBulk when we were chatting at the time. So there was obviously maybe some zeitgeist thing about vulture kind of creatures. I think he briefly mentioned whether you should be vetting films before putting them on. I don't know. I like the lottery element of it. It's good to have a few. I wouldn't say the unicorn's a dud, but Dungeon Master was bad. But I think I'll take a bit of rough with the smooth, right? So actually, what I wanted to really talk about was obviously listening to various people's input, and maybe even particularly Rob's. I think I was coming to this conclusion anyway, but I think he kind of sort of touched on this idea that I was thinking about. I was just wondering if essentially, maybe a bit like the film Frozen, this is a journey, a loss of innocence story, right? The unicorn represents the childlike innocence. The last unicorn is the last vestige of innocence. The Red Bull has chased it all away, and there's only this last vestige. I mean, you could say, the unicorn is, the unicorn becomes a woman, right? She's transitioning to a woman, and the Red Bull could be a kind of a symbolism for raw masculinity, if you like. Now, again, this idea of people can't see the unicorn, but some people can who have magic. Maybe they have the power to see the childlike innocence within, whereas everyone else is seeing a horse. They're seeing the form, not the inner spirit, if you like, the childlike innocence. Now, I don't know what it really says about the ending. Maybe the allegory, or whatever you want to call it, breaks down towards the end, where the unicorn fights against it and releases all that childlike, all the other unicorns. Is that a giving up, pushing back against that and saying, no, I'm going to remain a child, I'm going to embrace the innocence. Anyway, that's slightly more deep than perhaps it's intended, but it did sort of make me wonder. Also, I think I don't know whether someone said something about a remake in the modern world. I think that sounds like a kind of interesting idea. I'd like to see this as a remake in the modern world, not fantasy world, but where there's like a unicorn, and I think and not animated, just a real life one. I think that could be an interesting, maybe pushing against all the pressures of we experience in modern day. Anyway, that's just something that sprung up in my mind just then. Anyway, great episode, Spencer. Thanks for doing it. I don't normally ring in with comments, but maybe I should. I often have them, but I think, and then I hear everyone else ringing. I think, yeah, maybe I should have plugged in. So this week, this month, whatever we're doing, I'm chipping in. But all right, cheers, fella. Thanks for everyone's comments. Bye.